1999 AFCON Under-20 Championship, and the first ever co-hosting that was done in any major football competition.
Right.
Ghana, Nigeria in the CAN 2000. That paved way for the European Championships for Netherlands and Belgium to host it in 2000, and also the Korea-Japan World Cup in 2002. He did so many great things, and I think his passion for football and him, the last time he was very actively involved in football, that was when Accra Hearts managed to win the CAF Champions League in 2000. And that was phenomenal.
Cecil Jones had to go
the 64 battalions.
He played football himself. Washe. That's where he got the name from.
Exactly,
Washe.
And it wasn't just about which club he was affiliated to. He made sure that all those footballers who were much more interested in getting, the flag of Ghana hoisted high across the world were supported. And Samuel Jan was one of the players that he really duly supported.
From Liberty.
So, exactly. So during Jan's legendary book launch, he was present to give his support, and Jan really gave him a lot of commendation for the support and advice he gave him. And, when Herbert Mensah took over Asante Kotoko, he was one of the most feared, big men in there. But E.T. never gave him that chance. He really matched him boot for boot. And those were the times you could love the Asante Kotoko Heart-to-Folk rivalry. And I think he's paid his dues. He's loved every single activity that, has gone on in football and really helped. Unfortunately for us, I think one thing that he will be sad for us, the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence,
That's right.
He was the one who made sure that facility was started. Even the land was acquired.
Yeah.
But now you look at the facility and we can't even run water from the basement to even the first floor. And you ask yourself, where are we going? That facility now should have been a 5-star hotel or even a 3-star hotel where the Black Stars could come, the national teams could stay in for like 2-3 weeks.
So they won't be thinking about South Africa.
Yes. So you see, he will be there, and I'm sure E.T. will just look at them and he will shake his head. You guys are all a disappointment.
I told you that our well-researched sports team will deliver for you. Woto. And some more sports detail with Kelvin.
Well, good morning. Let's continue with the sports. My name is Kelvin Owusu Ansah. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Talking about Mr. Enoch Mensah. Well, he is a former MP for Ningo Pram and one of the topmost people we've had when it comes to Ghana football. The Thanksgiving service is going to be held on that is Sunday at the Methodist Church in Pram. So hopefully, if you cannot make it today, tomorrow there is also going to be the burial for him also at Ningo Pram constituency. So let's move on. And the Confederation of Africa Football has announced a 40% increase in prize money for the upcoming AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire 2023. The winner of the tournament will now receive an impressive $7 million, while the runner-up will take home $4 million. The financial rewards for the semi-finalists and quarter-finalists have also been increased, with each semi-finalist receiving $2.5 million and each quarter-finalist receiving $1.3 million. The significant increase in prize money is expected to raise the stakes and intensify the competition, making the 2023 AFCON even more thrilling for fans and participants alike. So hopefully we have a lot more from there. Now let's move on to the Black Stars of Ghana, and ace broadcaster Kwabena Yeboah has revealed Ghana will not be favourites at the AFCON and the team will not have it easy playing at the tournament. He's however confident that the Black Stars will fly high the flag of Ghana.
Unlike several years back when Ghana went into tournaments as hot favorites, times have changed and the dynamics have changed. We have too many strong teams in Africa at the moment. In those days, if you spoke about teams like Namibia, like Madagascar, like Comoros, they were like minnows. But we do know that they've gone into Europe and picked players of the ancestral heritage. So you may be playing Comoros, a country of 900,000 people, but those are not the players you're playing with. Every member of that team plays in either Portugal or in France. And I remember before playing against Comoros, I had a conversation with Dere Ayew, who indicated that 7 of the players of the Comoros team, he played with them during his junior period in Olympique Marseille. So the terrain is changed. There is a strong leveling of the terrain. So you can't underestimate any other team. But I want to believe that these boys appreciate the enormity of the task that confronts them playing for Ghana. They know that in Ghana, nothing constitutes success apart from laying your hands on the trophy. And they do appreciate that. The last tournament was disastrous. I don't want to believe that this is going to be as disastrous as the last one. I'm very, very confident that these boys would make us proud and go very deep in this tournament.
Well, though he's confident, Kwabena believes winning the Nations Cup will not come very easy as other nations have gotten better on the continent.
I think by conventional wisdom, if you get into a tournament, you go into areas where the climatic conditions are congenial and you prepare and fine-tune for the main tournament. So I think the uproar was justifiable. And thank God the FA, I want to believe, acquiesced to the pressure. Whether they acquiesced to the pressure or whether it was their decision to go to Kumasi, for now, well, at least we feel comfortable that we have decided to camp in Ghana. There have been periods where the nation camped in Ghana, went to tournaments and did well. I was privileged to be with the team in 1991 when we camped at the Specialist Training College where facilities were not the best. We went to AFCON in 92 in Senegal and we picked silver. So I think it makes a lot of sense to settle in Ghana. And once all the boys are comfortable with that and the management and the technical team are comfortable, I think we can end the conversation here.
That is Kwabena Yeboah, a broadcaster, having high hopes for the Black Stars to perform well in Cote d'Ivoire. So the team had to continue their preparations for the African Nations Cup. Well, the three at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Jordan Ayew is already in camp. The only players not in camp, Iñaki Williams and Kudus Mohammed, but they expected to train today together with the team. Now, Chris Hughton says that he's focused on building a very solid team that can compete well at the AFCON.
But the responsibility is down to myself and my technical staff. And one thing I can assure you is that the process has been a long and hard process where we've spent many hours discussing, a huge amount of hours watching either live or video. And this is our conclusions. As regards the price I have to pay, this is not something I think about. I think about one thing. I think about putting a team together for AFCON 2023 that will make this nation proud.
That is going to make the nation proud. Away from that, the Ghana Premier League had an outstanding game played between Heart of Lions and Dreams FC at the Hohoi Sports Stadium. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Heart of Lions. Ponkwesi scored the only goal of the game. They, however, missed the penalty, but it was a victory for them. 3 points out of 3 matches. Bashir Hayford is taking over, has won 2 in the last 2 games. He lost the first game in charge, and it looks like it's going to be a turnaround for his former club. Now he's back to help them. Now, away from that, the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association has reappointed Wilson Arthur as chairman of the MTN FA Cup Committee after successfully supervising 3 competitive FA Cup sessions. Honorable Arthur, owner of Division 1 League side, that is Sky FC, has been in charge of the committee since November 2019. Great Olympics General Manager Oluboy Commodore will serve as the first vice committee chairperson. Well, there are others on the committee like Afododu and Frank Nelson Wokolo, a board member of Accra Hearts of Oak. Now, there's still some more appointments being made by the Football Association, and the former Executive Council member, Dr. Tony Oben, has been appointed as chairperson of the newly created Domestic Leagues Committee. This committee, which replaces the Premier League Committee, the Division 1 League Board, and the Women's Premier League Committee, will be responsible for the management of the above-listed competitions. Chairman of Aduana FC, George Awu, has been appointed as first vice chairperson, while Hilary Boateng will serve as the second vice chairperson of the committee. So that is also the latest with regards to that. Now let's move away to the English Premier League, and Brighton and Hove Albion boss Roberto De Zerbi says his side have struggled in recent times, but he hopes to build on after the West Ham United draw in the Premier League. They play Stoke City this weekend in the FA Cup.
We have already spoken with the players. We have another important game in Stoke, and then we go on holiday 1 week.
That's allowed. What does the FA Cup mean to you?
Listen, when I think football when I work on the pitch and training session, friendly game or FA Cup, Europe League, Premier League is the same. We have to fight, we have to work seriously, and we have to give respect for our club, our owner, our fans, because with me it's like this, or we change the team.
Thank you so much.
So that is from Roberto De Zerbi. Now, Crystal Palace manager Roy Hodgson has showed his support for Wayne Rooney, who has been sacked after 15 games in charge at Birmingham City. Well, he believes the former English footballer would come out tops in his subsequent appointments.
I can only agree with him. I think the amount of time he was given to really show his ability and his qualities was a short one. It's the world we live in at the moment, and I know Wayne understands and accepts that like we all do. But I'm sad that it happened, and I know that he will bounce back. I read or heard that he's going to take a little break from the game. I think that's an intelligent thing to do, because there's no doubt that Wayne Rooney will always be on people's lips and in people's minds when it comes to future jobs, because he really does understand football. He's proved that, and as a player I always thought he was very thoughtful and very astute tactically.
So that is from Roy Hodgson. However, Steve Cooper is currently the favourite to become the new Birmingham City manager. Now, Sean Dyche, Everton boss, believes the Toffees could do well and have a very quiet January transfer window. He believes that his team can come good. They drew goalless against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup last night.
To do any deal, you know, there has to be finance involved. The club has to be in a situation to do the deals. We had to work very hard. Kev certainly had to work hard to construct deals that could be worked into the way the club were in the summer. Managed to do that, as we said, managed to rebalance the squad. We had to lose some players as well. The situation is similar but different. You know, you never know the twists and turns of football, how deals present themselves, but at this moment in time it's very likely to be quiet.
Well, very likely to be quiet now. Moving away from that, all eyes are on Real Madrid as Kylian Mbappe's transfer saga has kicked off this week. The 25-year-old, whose contract expires in June, can now sign a pre-contract with any club. Real Madrid and Liverpool are being linked with a move for the France captain. Jonathan Johnson has been given the latest on Kylian Mbappe's future at PSG.
PSG absolutely would like to keep hold of Kylian Mbappe in an ideal world. The big question is, does Kylian Mbappe want to pledge his future to PSG? Because sort of the big idea around whatever Kylian Mbappe's next decision might be is that it's going to be sort of for, you know, at least the medium to long term in his career, not just sort of a temporary fix like the last contract was, you know, basically just to sort out the next couple of years. This is going to be for, you know, a large chunk of the next sort of 5 years of his career, and that's why it's a decision that he doesn't want to take lightly and doesn't want to be rushed into anything, but obviously you know, the interest in Kylian Mbappe, if he was to be available and made it clear that he wasn't going to extend with PSG under any circumstances, you know, would be enormous. That is the scenario at the moment. You know, Mbappe opted out of the final year extension of his PSG contract, which created the scenario that we saw last summer. However, you know, the PSG project has changed massively now. It's a vastly different PSG under Luis Enrique.
Well, a new PSG under Luis Enrique. Very difficult times for PSG in trying to keep Kylian Mbappe. Now to some tennis, and Novak Djokovic has been dealing with a wrist issue. Unfortunately lost to Alex de Minaur 6-4, 6-4 in the Perth and Australian leads as Serbia were losing 1-2 at the United Cup. Djokovic has given an assessment of his injury and how he wants to come back in early in the middle of January to fight back for a major title.
Yeah, I was not on my level, but it was just one of these days where you didn't feel your best, I guess, on the court, and your opponent played very well. That's all I can say, you know. I have plenty of time I think enough time to get myself in the right shape for Australian Open, and that's what matters the most at this point. I think I'll be okay, to be honest, but, you know, it did have quite an impact, you know, particularly on the forehand and serve, but again, I don't want to be spending too much time talking about it and taking away credit of the victory from de Minaur. I mean, he was just very solid, and as he always is. knew that probably not going to be at my 100% physically, emotionally, mentally, game-wise in the opening week of a season. Neither did I expect that, neither did I want that, to be honest. It's all a part of the build-up for Australian Open, you know. So that's where I want to perform at my best, and
that's where he wants to perform at his best. Now, Emma Raducanu is out of the Auckland Classic after falling to a 6-7, 5-7, 7-6, 6-1 defeat by second seed Alina Svitolina in the second round. Also, Rafa Nadal has said that every day is an adventure after he cruised into the Brisbane International quarterfinals on his return from a hip injury. A 6-1, 6-2 win over Australia's Jason Kubler. The Spaniard broke at the first time of asking and proceeded to secure a quick win and a place in the quarterfinals. I take every day like an opportunity, and tomorrow is another one, he said. Now that will play another Australian, Jordan Thompson, in the last 8. Let's have a quick look at some of the results from yesterday in the La Liga. Osasuna defeated Almeria but 1-0. Sevilla lost to Athletic Club 2-0 without Iñaki Williams this time managed to get there. 2 goals. Vesga and Paredes were on target in there. Neco Williams was also in action. And then Barcelona traveled to defeat Las Palmas by 2-1. Ferran Torres and Ilkay Gundogan with the penalty after Munir El Haddadi had opened the scores for Las Palmas. Crystal Palace settled for a goalless draw against Everton, and Juventus defeated Salernitana 6-1 in the Coppa Italia. Today, Bologna play against Genoa in the Serie A in the FA Cup, Brentford against Wolves, Fulham against Rotherham United, and Tottenham against Burnley in the FA Cup. That will be all for sport this morning. My name is Kelvin Owusu Ansah. Sunrise continues. DJ Abiam is here to serve you with some fine tunes before Johnny Hughes, Helena Piampo from the rest of the team take over. Yes, 6-2 is looking like Kun Lao in Mortal Kombat this morning. You should come and see him this morning. Have a brilliant Friday.